Good morning and welcome back to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Kolvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group, talking about a lot of changes today, Kim, Medicare, taxes, Social Security, and it may sound overwhelming, like I said before, and complicated. It doesn't have to be. We like to simplify things, not because people are simple, but sometimes people can get very overwhelmed. We just had 2 Social Security and tax classes in Savage this week. They're very well attended, which is really the topic of this segment. So if anything in this show today raises questions or eyebrows or concerns, feel free again to call us at 612-504-8400. Set up a time. There's no cost for it. You have nothing to lose, maybe only information to gain. And at the end of the day, if we're able to help in any way, shape, or form, well, you're ahead of the game.
Listen, before we get finished today here on this broadcast, I want us to talk a little bit more about some of those educational seminars and how people can learn more about what's coming up in 2025. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, let's talk about some of these changes with Social Security, starting with COLA numbers. I think we have a pretty good idea of what those are because we learned them really last fall. But why don't you tell everybody, Larry, what's going on when it comes to cost of living adjustments?
Well, first off, Social Security is one of the largest income streams for retired Americans. It's why we teach a lot on it, because there's always these pre-ideas that I'm just going to turn it on at 62, which is the earliest. Incidentally, about 70% of Americans turn it on that early without giving it much thought, which can cause a decrease in monthly payments, could cause more tax issues or complications. So making an educated decision as to when you take it. Full retirement age based on your birthday. By the way, if you're born after 1960, that went up to the full retirement age of 67 now in 2025. It's based upon your birthday. So listeners, you maybe have, based on your birthday, 66, 2 months, 4 months, up to age 67. Waiting to that, you get 100% of what you paid in, no reduction. And if you wait till 70, well, you max it out. Now, only 1 to 2% of Americans wait till 70. Does that mean everybody's making the right decision? No, I'd say that's the wrong decision. However, that's not simply me or us telling you should wait till 70. Susie Orman says everybody should wait till 70. I respectfully disagree. It depends upon a variety of variables, income situation, marriage, if you need the money, longevity. So for those that attended our classes or those listening, if you come in and have Social Security questions, you'll sit down with us. We'll walk you through. You'll leave with a Social Security maximization report. If we get to that point where we plug all your information, people find it extremely beneficial, Kim. It's really a good, better, best name based on normal life expectancies of when and how you should take it. If you're a married couple, if you're a single. You know, oftentimes for married couples, we say it should be a we decision. Maybe the higher breadwinner turns it on or waits longer. The lower breadwinner turns it on earlier. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. And maybe you are a listener that's called the Social Security office before. And I can't hear you, but I sense the gasp of frustration because that was a phone call that was probably an hour or 2 hours long. You didn't get the answers. They can't give you advice that you don't want to. A lot of times they don't know. And it's why most of us as financial professionals in the industry, we teach on it, because how could we be in a retirement advisory firm without talking about one of the biggest income streams?
Absolutely. And
a lot of my fellow advisors out there, they don't feel comfortable because if you're working with 20, 30, or 40-year-olds mostly, you're not having this conversation. Right. Where we're working with those that are planning for retirement or in retirement, where it is now a decision that needs to be made, and it should be the proper decision. Otherwise, you might leave a lot on the table.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's probably, wouldn't you say that's one of the bigger mistakes that people make in retirement, taking their retirement too early or just not knowing enough about it? They're taking their Social Security, I mean. Yeah,
I would say that is one of the biggest mistakes. Not intentional, sure. But a lot of times the water cooler mentality. Oh, my sister did this, my brother did this, my best friend did this. Yeah, but why are they still working? What's their health, their longevity? There's so many factors. And I know for years, Social Security has been highly politicized on both sides of the aisle. And I know even now, the new administration is going to do away with Social Security. Both sides have said that for years. They're not going to do away with. Could there be changes? Could be. I don't think there's going to be. There's going to have to be some changes because the financial solvency of the Social Security Trust Fund is not in good shape. Mm-hmm. So eventually there's going to have to be some changes. But just know that when we sit down, or if you sit down with somebody that knows what they're talking about, there's earnings thresholds that need to be taken into equation. If you're not to full retirement age, there's income thresholds. If you make too much, they can withhold a certain amount of for Social Security. You want to know about these things.
Sure.
Yes, the cost of living adjustment was only 2.5% this year. Disappointing compared to previous years. Hopefully that means inflation is truly going down. As you mentioned, in October, it's announced every year for the upcoming year, and we've seen some great increases. Still got 2.5 this year, and you know what? It's not a guarantee. There's been a few years in history where there wasn't any increases.
Right. Sure.
So it could be worse. I'm a glass half full type of guy. So, I mean,
I like that about you.
Because you can talk about this until the cows come home and drive yourself crazy, or you can look at the bright side.
Absolutely. Listen, when you look at these changes for Social Security this year, if you're somebody who is drawing Social Security, are there some of these changes that will directly affect you? And what are the important ones that they need to know?
Well, here's what I would say. A lot of times people say, I'm going to sock it to the government. I'm going to turn it on early and I'm just going to stick it to them, which is not a good rationale for making decisions. Not because our job isn't to convince people. It's to talk through and ask questions that the answers to these questions will truly determine what the right decision is. If you're still working, probably doesn't make any sense to be turning on Social Security. Or if your spouse is still working, income, taxes, all these different variables. So just making split decisions. A lot of times people leave going, well, I thought I should turn it on early, but based on this conversation, that makes no sense. And guess what? It's eye-opening. And that's what we want from these conversations is educated decisions. Because over time, Social Security for a couple can be well over millions of dollars based on life expectancy. Sure. That's not a decision that should be taken lightly. And I think that's a true reason why, as we start the new year this past week, our classes were full. And that tells me there's that people want to learn. And that's good because I heard somebody say once that education is the potential for power. It's what we do with it that really matters.
Absolutely. Going back to that idea of I want to stick it to the government, the House always wins. And in the end, you may be sticking it to them and it feels good for a couple of minutes, but then that comes to a real quick end when you realize what you've left on the table. So we hope that people won't take that attitude. Maybe some people understand why you'd feel that way. But having said that, I hope people don't take that attitude. Let me real quickly, I had promised we would do this. If people go to havenfinancialgroup.com, they can learn a little bit more about some of these educational seminars that are coming up in 2025. Talk to us a little bit about what's coming up in the near future.
Yeah, we just updated all our educational workbooks, or in the process of doing, as I mentioned, Social Security and tax classes throughout the year at various community centers, educational centers, senior centers, Dakota County Tech, potentially some other colleges, some other classes, and that you'll find on our site. We're doing our estate planning attorneys, Carrie and Anna and Keith. Here in a couple of weeks, we'll be doing a wills and trust estate planning retirement seminar here in Burnsville. Again, on the estate planning topic. The truth about annuities here first quarter, I think I'll be teaching one of those classes. Very enlightening. I don't know anybody else that teaches that class. The truth about annuities class. An RMD tax class where we touch with a wide brush on all retirement topics. All of these educational classes, we provide materials. There are no costs. And anybody that attends or is listening, everyone has the opportunity to come on in, have a no-cost consultation, talk about any or all of the retirement topics that might affect you, or if you have questions or worries, concerns, or maybe you just feel like you're not getting the attention, or maybe you're listening and you have no idea what you're paying these people that are helping you. And maybe you feel like you're not getting adequate attention. It is the start of the new year. Why not give it to yourself the opportunity to find out, are you doing things right? What's better than confirmation and affirmation? Hey, great job. Or guess what? We're missing what we really should be doing.
Absolutely. Havenfinancialgroup.com. That's how you learn more about some of these educational seminars that you've just heard Larry mentioning. They are free, and they are, Larry, open to people who are not clients, right? It's just anybody who would like to attend.
Anybody that would like to attend, and our existing clients know they're always invited.
Sure.
At both classes this week, I had several different clients that have been with us for several years, because we want to open it up to anybody, existing clients or not clients, or maybe those that are just kicking the tires saying, I want to learn more.
Sure.
No matter what the circumstances, no matter small, medium, or large, if you're young or have lots of stuff or little of the stuff, again, this relates to everybody, all listeners, and we encourage you to come out.
Lots of changes in 2025. They will affect everyone who's thinking about getting close to or in retirement. And if you have questions about some of the changes that we've heard today, or if you're ready to sit down and to put together a great portfolio that is going to make your golden years just that golden, be sure that you call the folks at Haven Financial Group. It's 612-504-8400. Been great to be with you and with Glenn and Lance on this Sunday.
Good to be with you, Kim. We look forward to next week, and I hope everybody's 2025 is very blessed.